Hey Taurus, welcome back to the Herb Lady. I hope you guys are doing well and October has been going great for you guys so far. I'm so sorry that it took me a while to get you guys' video uploaded, but I am very, very grateful for your patience and for your support, Taurus. I'm also grateful to you cross watchers out there that are watching for Taurus as well. So with that being said, I'm not really going to keep you guys too long on intros. I'm going to just let you know we're doing a Planetary Times reading. This is a newer spread that came from my Mythic Tarot deck book, and the link to that is in the description box below if you guys are interested in purchasing that. This spread is kind of remixed to fit a general reading, and I also have a further remixed spread for an individual reading. And speaking of individual readings, I have the link to my Squarespace down below if you guys want to book a reading with me. This reading is typically $150, you guys, because it's so intensive and it's so in detail. This is almost like a natal chart reading along with a tarot reading, because it's very deeply personal, you guys. But I'm doing specials on this reading for the month of October all the way through November 15th. And the reading is only $55 until November 15th. And I'm still running specials on my $5 readings and $10 readings, you guys. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to pull a card from my Universe Has Your Back deck by Gabrielle Bernstein. The link to this is also in the description box below. It's definitely a deck that's worth purchasing. These are literally positive messages that are just for, you know, the collective, because we all need a positive, uplifting message, because shit's just crazy out here for no reason. Not for no reason, but because we're having a huge shift on a much larger level than most of us can comprehend. And for a lot of people, it's just seen as like shit being crazy for no reason. I'm gonna turn down the light on my thing. There we go. Because it's kind of blinding me. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and pull a card for Taurus for the month of October. And you guys may already be feeling some of these energies that are taking place for October. You know, I'm sorry that my reading once again is late, but you know, hopefully we can get into why those energies are taking place. Now, in order to get into how to refine those energies, you're gonna have to book a personal reading with me, you guys. Okay. All right. All right, so you guys got, when I lean on faith, the universe, when I lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. And you guys see those two owls right there? Literally, and the full moon in the background. Like, this is literally calling for you guys to have faith and be wise in where you put your faith, because sometimes misplaced faith fucks up your peace, like, you know, because your faith is in something that you are not sure about, and thus you're not having peace on it. So it's like, you know, when you're feeling unsure and you're getting no peace from the place where you're putting your faith in, it's time to switch gears. So it's like, you know, when you lean on faith, on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. So it's like, one thing we do know is the universe is very real, and the universe works. It's a whole living organism with its special functions that's impossible for our physical mind to comprehend. So, you know, when you utilizing that faith that the universe has given, literally will bring an abundance of peace, because your faith is there. You're locked into it. And you know, when you see lack of peace, that's when you know that it's probably not the right path for you. Okay, so sorry about the lights in the background, you guys. It's like my lights are just doing whatever they want to do, so you know, bear with me. Okay, So we're going to go ahead and start the reading here. Like I said, this is a planetary reading. Usually I start off this reading with the transits for the month of October, but I already did the reading for Scorpio. And Scorpio is you guys' opposition sign, and I always feel like it's a great thing to go and watch a reading in your opposition sign just to see what the other end of the spectrum is looking like for you guys. And Scorpio also has all of the transits listed in detail. So, you know, if you guys go and check out the Scorpio reading, you can leave feedback on that reading as well, and also get a detailed list of the transits that are taking place for the month of October, which is basically the planets moving through certain zodiac signs. Okay, so let's get this started. We're going to start with position 1, and this is the 7 card spread. So it's going to start off in 7 different positions, the sun all the way to Saturn, and we're going to observe how each planet transiting is affecting Taurus for the month of October and the areas of Taurus's life. Okay, so it looks like for you guys, as far as the sun is concerned, because the sun speaks to our ego, it speaks to our core self and who we really, really are underneath the surface. It also speaks to the individual goals that we have set for ourselves, and the individual goals that we are seeking to achieve for ourselves. Okay, so it looks like for you guys, there has been a sense of wish fulfillment, a sense of emotional fulfillment, Taurus. You guys are coming into October feeling very emotionally fulfilled, probably because literally the sun is moving through Libra, which is also a fellow sign that's ruled by Venus energy. So you guys may be feeling those increased levels of love and reassurance. You may be feeling a sense of emotional stability within yourselves, Taurus. Okay, so it's like, and you know, it's given the fact that it is in cups, and it seems like, you know, for in this case, as far as individual goals that may have been set and achieved, these are not empty achievements for you guys. That's what I'm getting the feeling of. It's just not, these achievements are not empty. They're pretty major. They're major on a personal level, but it's like, as far as the grand scheme of things, these are small steps to bigger successes, you know. So going into the second card here, which represents the moon. The moon is literally like the Cancer energy. It's that home life energy. It speaks to our private life. It speaks to what takes place in the home, and it speaks to our emotions. As we know, a lot of us as adults, when we become adults, a lot of adults tend to keep their emotions to themselves. They tend to keep that shit under wraps and keep it private until they feel, you know, it has to be expressed. Or just, you know, we see a lot of people in general who also have unhealthy relationships with their emotions. You know, they let their emotions run them instead of them running their emotions, you know, instead of them gathering and controlling their emotions. So for you guys, for the month of October, as far as the moon transits and how it's affecting you guys, Temperance is observed here. So we're seeing, you know, the card of Temperance here, where Temperance speaks to balance. Temperance is ruled by Sagittarius. So you guys, you know, maybe dealing with the Sagittarius energy who has you guys in your emotions. This energy has been making you feel off balance. It's been making you feel like you're just, you know, because when the card is upright, as you can observe, it's a very beautiful card. Temperance is one of the most beautiful cards in the major arcana. And in this card, she has 1 foot in the water, which speaks to 1 foot in her subconscious, as well as 1 foot on the ground, which speaks to 1 foot in her conscious world. The rainbow in the background, the double rainbow, speaks to double blessings, double the hope, double the peace. I mean, we're talking about peace here. Temperance is that peace after death. Death is intense personal transformation and growth. So temperance is the peace, because you've been so afraid of death, so afraid of death, so afraid of a situation changing, and the situation has now changed, and your temperance is the immediate relief that you get from the situation finally changing, even whether it's in your favor or not, because now you're no longer in a place where you're waiting for it to take place. And you know, the issue with temperance being in the reverse position right here is the fact that, you know, she, even though her foot, even though she still is doing the balancing act of one foot being in the conscious world, one foot in the subconscious world, and she's balancing emotions from one cup to the other, from one vessel to the other. She is balancing those emotions, but when it's in the reverse, it's almost like a stumbling block. So you guys may be dealing with a Sagittarius that's causing you to emotionally stumble, or causing you to emotionally go back and forth, and you're just like, what the fuck? So, you know, I would keep that in mind, Taurus. Okay, so moving on to Mercury here. Now, Mercury is the planet that controls communication, travel, abstract thinking and concepts, intellect. To an extent, it controls our career sector, and it also controls education. And keep in mind, you guys, Mercury is in Scorpio right now, and we're also going to be experiencing a Mercury retrograde come October 15th. All right. So we're going to see how Mercury is affecting Taurus's life in regards to intellect and communication. And for you guys have Six of Wands in the reverse. So what this is telling me is that the goal is for conversation that leads to good results, that leads to victorious results, and probably just due to the fact that we are about to go into a backspin. Mercury is going into a backspin here. There seems to just be like signals that are switching, that where you're not quite achieving those successful communication results that you would like, Taurus. Because it just seems like the spirit is there, the intent is there, but because of the fact that already your emotional state is a little bit off balance, it's kind of hard to achieve that result that you would like. And you know, it's like in a personal reading, by this point we would pull another card to glean advice from Mercury on how to keep a stabilizing factor as far as communication is concerned. But it just seems like underneath it all, and especially like in regards to this card here, is that, you know, it looks like you got people in the background who people in the background, maybe people at your job, people at people in your at your school, who are kind of watching you stumble, but it seems like they're probably stumbling a little bit as well. They're trying to balance their own passions and balance their own issues, and it's kind of hard for them to step in and help you with the weight of the issues that you're trying to balance yourself. So you know, with Mercury transiting into Scorpio, you guys are definitely like dealing with the energy of balance, especially in terms of communication and how you communicate your passions. Okay, so we're gonna go over into Venus. Venus is the fourth card in this spread. Venus rules our love life, obviously. Venus also rules our friendships, and it rules like our familial relationships. So relationships with family, Venus also rules. With this card, we see how the transit of Venus is affecting the areas of Taurus's life concerning relationships. And as we know, Venus is transiting into Virgo. So Venus transited into Virgo as of October 3rd. So with that, even though Venus doesn't like being in Virgo because it's not all floaty and glamorous like Venus in Pisces, it's opposition. But Virgo is definitely the mundane. Virgo is definitely getting down to the nitty gritty, almost on a nitpicky like net level. So, you know, with that being said, we're going to look at how Venus and Virgo transit is affecting Taurus. So it just looks like for October, you guys, as far as love matters are concerned, you guys are just kind of seeing like that change of heart, that change of fate, where you may have seen something that was going really well at one point, and at this point, because, you know, as fate would have it, as the wheel turns, so we learn, you know, and it's just like the wheel has turned, the wheel has literally, you know, put you guys in a place where you're no longer operating with the rose-colored dramatic glasses of Venus and Leo. You're kind of now looking at the finer details, and you're really being able to see, especially with it being in trine with your sun or even with your moon sign of Taurus, with it trining those signs, it's like finally like Venus is in alignment to help you to be able to absolutely see things for what they are and make perfect sense and make the determination whether that is, whether this relationship, whether these relationships, plural, work for you. And I feel like with the Wheel of Fortune turning, it seems like it's really like a misfortune for the person that you're involved with. Like, for it's really more so the misfortune for them, but it could be for you as well, because this is kind of where we're talking about how fate changes, and we are seeing how fate literally operates in the sense of where you once had faith in a relationship. You once put your faith, but going back to the topic of misplaced faith, you know, you put your faith in a certain relationship and a certain person, and they disappointed you, and now you're back to square one, where now, because the wheel has turned, you know, so has your perspective. Your perspective has shifted, and now you're at this place of putting faith into yourself. You are really actively relying on yourself, Taurus, especially because you know that you're in a place where you're just feeling a little bit off right now, and you need to rebalance and restructure. So, you know, that's okay. That's totally normal for Taurus. So we're gonna move on to Mars. Mars is the planet that talks about aggression. It talks about conflict. It's the planet of war. Like, Mars is ruled by Aries. Mars is actually at home in Aries right now, in the Aries retrograde, the backspin right now, which is talking about like those hidden aggressions, the hidden frustrations. So with that transit, we're going to see how that transit is affecting Taurus for the month of October. Okay, so it looks like you guys are definitely in a place where you're just trying to like push through. You guys are, I wouldn't say that you're hitting a wall, but like spiritually, in terms of your passion, in terms of the shit that gets you up and gets you out of bed in the morning, it's like, even in terms of those things, you guys are definitely like feeling like you definitely feel like you're pushing up against a wall, and you're trying to like just push through and push through. Like, Mars is forcing you guys to like push through all of these feelings, all of these emotions concerning your passions, concerning what makes you feel passionate. And it's just like really rocky. On the outside, you guys could be presenting Temperance upright, where you're looking calm and balanced and serene, but given the fact that the moon transit is saying that you guys are in the Temperance reverse, where she's feeling kind of off kilter, that's because this shit is taking place behind this Temperance reverse. There is a lot of aggressive type energy that's going on right now for Taurus sun in regards to this Mars transit. You guys, Mars is transiting through Aries, and it's in the backspin right now. So with it being in the backspin, it's time to reflect upon all the frustrations, and doing all of this reflection plus in terms of what's going on with Venus, in terms of your relationships and you changing that perspective on relying on self, and you're being forced to reflect. Yes, there's a lot of frustration. You guys are like hitting a wall with the amount of frustration and the amount of feelings of just fucking being over it, but you're still enduring because you're trying to endure for yourself, for the sake of becoming the better version of yourself, for the sake of changing this imbalance to a balanced state, you know, and for the sake of your wish fulfillment of personal goals. You guys are truly in a place where you want to fulfill your personal goals. Like, that is like priority right now. You guys need that. So we're gonna go into card number 6, which is Jupiter, and Jupiter speaks to gains and expansions. Jupiter is like the great benefic planet, and benefic is basically in terms of benefits. How you're going, Jupiter is the planet that loves to rain benefits, but also, you know, with every benefic planet, it has a malefic side. If you do not use the energy of Jupiter correctly, that's when you can experience you're getting too much of something to the point where it's toxic. And right now Jupiter is in Capricorn. Capricorn is a sign that's ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is the planet that rules restrictions, and it rules boundaries and discipline. So Jupiter is definitely at its fall right now. It does not like being in Capricorn. It struggles with Capricorn. So you know, at this point, for a lot of people right now, they may be experiencing where Jupiter is giving them gains in positions where they're receiving a lot of structure, a lot of discipline, a lot of, you know, those things that feel restrictive. So we're gonna see how this transit is affecting Taurus. Okay, so Jupiter is definitely like putting you guys in a place where they want you to let go. They're kind of like broadening your perspective, especially in terms of like this Mars energy where you guys are at this aggressive energy, and Jupiter is just trying to really bless you with the larger picture of learning how to let go. Jupiter is saying, you know, you don't have to hold on to this. You don't have to hold on to these really intense feelings. And even though it is Four of Pentacles, because Four of Pentacles really does speak to like holding on to your money, keeping it close, being very miserly with your resources. And Jupiter, I feel like, not only in the sense is Jupiter bringing in enough gains to where you can open your hand a little bit, just open it a little bit, but at the same time, you know, it's also saying, you know, you don't have to hold on to this inner frustration, you know, because Jupiter really is trying to like give you a blessing in disguise here, where you're about to see what feels like a loss, but through this loss you're about to get so much gains. You're about to experience so much gained. And Jupiter really is expanding it's expanding your perspective on what really is a loss and what really is a gain. So now we're gonna move on to Saturn. Your card for Saturn fell on the floor. So it's like, but it fell on the floor upright, like literally it just popped off the table onto the floor and was like, here I am. So let's talk about Saturn for a minute. Saturn is a planet that rules restrictions, boundaries, discipline. Saturn is like that grouchy old grandfather who literally is like, listen to what I say, do what I say. And, you know, if you don't, we're going to have issues and I'm going to assert my dominance, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, usually when you don't listen, it's like he has no problem disciplining you because you're not listening. And, you know, and usually his lessons, you don't understand the lesson in the moment, but, you know, it's like but you still do it. And then when you get older, or as time goes by, you realize the effects and the benefits of the lessons that Saturn was teaching you. And when you don't listen to it, you make the process more difficult for yourself. But when you do, you gain so much. You gain so many rewards from it, so many personal rewards from Saturn. So it's like, you know, in the case of Saturn being the grand malefic, you know, malefic means a lot of heavy, dark energies. But, you know, even with that malefic energy, Saturn offers so many rewards and so many benefits. You know, when you learn the lessons, when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and applying the lessons where necessary. So with that, and Saturn is at home in Capricorn right now. It just went direct on September 29th. So we are definitely like experiencing that increased energy of restriction. I mean, it's like Saturn really is restricting some things here. And for you guys did get the Ace of Pentacles in your Saturn position, so it really is like showing like a restriction of monetary gains, a restriction of like going out, and a restriction of physical, like the things that are physical, like literally the carnal nature. Is the restriction of sex. It's the restriction of those physical pleasures right now, because Saturn really wants you guys to go deep within and to understand on a deeper spiritual, emotional level what's going on, and to really like work that shit out. Like Saturn really is asking for you to go within yourself and to realize that these material things is not what makes up Taurus. These material your way of gaining material things, your way of going out and doing material things is not what creates Taurus. It's not what contributes to Taurus's overall being. So it's just like Saturn is in a place where he's like restricting your movement as far as monetary, as far as physical means right now. He's restricting you from diving into any more new physical situations, because he wants you to go within and truly understand yourself and understand why it is that, you know, you are in this place of temperance, but you're not quite tempered. So, you know, Saturn really is asking that question, because as we see, you know, in personal goals, you seem to have wish fulfillment, or you desire wish fulfillment, but with that desire of wish fulfillment, you are thus manifesting wish fulfillment on an emotional, to an extent on an emotional level. Or you, like I said, you guys could be in a situation where you ask for a situation to occur, and that situation has occurred, and you are receiving a hollowed out wish fulfillment. It's not true wish fulfillment. And emotionally, it's like you're in a place where you're like, I'm supposed to be happy, but I'm not. I'm supposed to be relieved, but I'm not. Like, I want to be, I feel like I should be, but I'm not. Like, something deep within me just doesn't feel it. And then you go to the Six of Wands, and literally it's like there's once again supposed to be the victory, but it's not the victory. Like, you're just like, I can't even communicate the fact that I don't feel like, it's like I want things to be victorious. I want things to work out, but it's just not. It doesn't feel right. And then, you know, the Wheel of Fortune, here comes Venus asking you to go within yourself. Stop relying on people outside of you to create the perspective of you. Go within yourself. And here comes Mars. Push through the aggression, push through the feelings of conflict, push through the uncomfortable feelings, push through the feelings where you feel like you want to go to war. Go to battle with those feelings and work through them. Like literally, it's saying like fight through them. Not fight the feelings, but fight through them, push through them, and work through them. Literally, you're gonna have to fight with yourself and drag yourself kicking and screaming to this place where, you know, you are achieving true temperance within you. And even like with Jupiter, Jupiter is restricting you from holding on. I mean, Jupiter is expanding you into a place of releasing all of these material things that you keep holding near and dear to your heart, that you think is your everything, that you think is going to completely make a huge difference in the quality of life for you. And then you have Saturn, which is restricting your gains. It's restricting your gains, literally your material gains. And I'm not just speaking on money. I'm speaking in terms of things that are material relationships, material things, anything that is physical here in this physical realm. It's like Saturn is saying you don't need any more physical attachments, because you need to go within you and fix the attachment to you. That is your message for October, Taurus. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, if you guys want to book a personal reading with me, I'm doing specials for $5. I'm doing specials for $10, and for a personal planetary times reading, I'm doing that for $55, you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I didn't mean to end it on such a serious note, but it does get really deep when we get over into Jupiter and Saturn, because Saturn really is the great harbinger of lessons. Saturn really is coming in with those deep lessons, you guys. It's like sun shines the light, you know, moon reflects the emotions, and so on and so forth. And then you get to Saturn, and we're talking about the places that really need some reflection, you guys. And it's okay, because all of us are growing. All of us are growing. All of us are learning our way in this thing called life. And, you know, the process is as beautiful as you want to make it, but it's also as ugly as you can think it to be sometimes. Okay, so I love all of you guys. Please follow me on Instagram at the Herb Lady. Take care, you guys. Have a good night. Ashe.